Shabbat Shalom, everybody. My name is Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Yah.
And we are the 𝐤𝐄𝐄 and the Torah YouTube channel, Rumble channel, Odyssey. You will find us on Telegram. You'll find us all over the place. And we can't thank you guys enough for being a part of our family, for being a part of this reading. And we are the little family out in the middle of the jungle who loves their scriptures. We love from the very first of the book to the very end of the book and all the extracurricular books between there and here that have been pulled out, that have been removed. We love our Creator and we love His ways. And His ways are found in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And in those 5 books, we will find what the heart, the mind, and the soul of our Creator wants for us. How He wants us to act, how He wants us to behave, how He wants us to treat others, how He wants us to worship, how He wants us to find His Son. And all of that is very, very important. Every last bit of that. And we live in a world where a religion or religions dictate that the laws of our Creator don't mean anything. If you have nailed them to the cross, if you've said they've been abolished, if you say that it doesn't matter, well, then you've fallen under the programming of Hasatan, of the devil himself. Because that's what the devil says. The devil will tell all of us that these laws, these precious, precious laws of our Creator, they just mean nothing. They are for the people of old times. They're the people from back in the days, and they don't mean anything. And when you put them to your life where they don't mean anything, you have commandments like don't drink the blood. If that commandment doesn't mean anything to you, then are you out there drinking blood? There's commandments that talk about molestation, that we're not to look at our children naked. We're not to get with our uncle's wife. We're not to get with our dad's wife. There's all of these laws and rules and regulations, and if you say the laws don't mean anything anymore, then are you okay molesting your children? Are you okay getting with your uncle's wife? Are you okay in marrying? Where our Creator has set up rules and regulations. So when you deny the laws of our Creator, understand you're denying and saying that pedophilia is okay. You're saying that drinking the blood is okay. You're saying that treating elderly people wrongly is okay. And all of these things are things that we find in the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, that He has told us how to behave, how to work, and how to live. And so when we deny these laws, statutes, and commandments, we're denying the breath of life. We're denying the chance of righteousness. We're denying the ability to obey our Creator and get on our hands and knees and obey a higher power of somebody who built us, kept us alive, kept our family alive, gave us breath, got you born, got us through all of these little things. And here we are today that we can listen because of the ears that our Creator has given to us. You guys can understand what is coming out of my mouth because our Creator has given us understanding. And it is by that understanding that we understand that the laws, statutes, and commandments are good for us for all times and for all generations. And they are the greatest things that you will ever walk across, that you will ever encounter. And if you do keep them, you will be blessed. Your life will take a 360-degree turn. You will be something that you never thought you could be in this world. You will have peace in this world unlike you ever thought you could have. And you will have protection unlike you will ever know and have ever known, because our Creator will protect you with the forces that He has, spiritual protection, messengers that are there to protect the people that love and honor and obey our Creator. So with that, Cade, please open us in prayer.
Father, thank you for this day, and we thank you for bringing us all together once again as a family. We ask that today your Shabbat is blessed, today you've sanctified and called out. We ask that your will is upon us, that your ruach is upon us, to open our eyes to what we need to understand and what we need to read today. Thank you for your Son. We thank you for prophets. We ask that all His family is blessed. In the name of Yahushua. Amen.
All right, Jade, when Eli gets us up here, go ahead and give us our Shema, please.
Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. You shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, with all your being, and with all your might. And these words I command you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children. And you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. And shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
Yeah, here we are. And this is something that, I don't know how to explain it other than this verse, and the greatest of the commandments tells us that we need to love our Elohim with all our heart, with all our mind, with all our soul, with every last little bit of this. And it's funny because Miss Nicole was in this little health Telegram group or something of the sort, and she wasn't willing to engage in the debate, but I took her account over, and I was willing to engage in the debate with this lady who was the classic Christian. All laws have been taken care of. I don't have to do anything. And they always talk about the 2 laws of Jesus, that you love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and you love your neighbor as yourself. And for some reason, people don't understand that you can't love something with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, if you are not obedient to them. It's exactly opposite. And it is the default, go-to, de facto communication that the Christians will have, that they will tell you that the laws are no more. And they have no other explanation for it. And if you talk to them and you say, well, quite contrary to what you're saying, our Messiah says not one jot or tittle of the Torah will be gone until heaven and earth pass away. That does nothing for anybody. You can quote that verse until the cows come home and nobody gets it. Then you will go over a little bit more into Matthew and you'll say, look, Messiah even says that there is a group of people who believe they all know him that are doing extracurricular things in his name, casting out demons, all sorts of these things, right? He's going to tell them, depart from me. That is not what you call a hug. That is not what you call an invitation to a doors open. That is called the foot to the butt, and you're kicked out into the street and you're told to depart. You are going to hell. That is simply what our Messiah has told us. That doesn't do anything for anybody. Nothing does. When you have been programmed in the Christian religion, I fear that it is far worse than never having religion at all. I fear that getting indoctrinated into the wrong thing is going to take your faith and your spirituality and it's going to drop it to a 0. If this is a pH test, you wouldn't make it. None of this is going to make it. You do not have enough acidity to make it in your life, and you're too lukewarm ever to go any further. So with this, we want to go over these laws, statutes, and commandments that our Creator has given to us. And before that, Miss Nicole is going to give us who is here. And I will apologize for Miss Nicole. She woke up with a migraine. She could barely even talk. I am not even sure if she'll be able to mumble this out. Can you mumble this out, Miss Nicole?
I got it.
All right.
But I do want to say what Jeremy said. It takes a lot to be in covenant. No law, no covenant.
Yeah, no law, no covenant. And I mean, that's the thing. And that's the thing. If you go through a stop sign and you get a ticket for the stop sign, you go and you pay your ticket for the stop sign. Are you able to blow the stop signs without getting a ticket? Furthermore, can you just, because of that one ticket, are you able to go through the lights? Do you have the white privilege button? You can hit the button and the lights will turn green for you. The cars will open up. Everything will be there. And I laugh about the white privilege button because down here we are in a country where we are the not the white privilege. In fact, they will actually flip us off trying to get on a bus. And they will let a couple people on the bus and they will shut the door and they will wave their fingers at our people. So yeah, down here we don't have that button. But with this, we don't need the button because we have a Torah. And if we are all in Torah, if we are all in covenant with the Torah, our rules and regulations are different. We fall under Yah's ways, under his direction, and under his protection as well. All right, what do you have, Miss Nicole?
We have Brother Glenn and Morena.
What's up?
We have Jeremy and Callan.
What's up, brother? Little Callan, how you doing, buddy?
The Grand. Grandma's here.
What's up, Grand?
Irma, Bonecat 1, Candy, Ruby, Sylvia, Sister Barb, Jeannie Not of This World, Lisa and Bear, and Brian, Honeymoon Stitch, Mama CA, and I think I got everybody.
All right.
Sorry if I missed anyone.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for being out there, for being a part of our little reading here. And we are going to do what we do every Shabbat, which is go through the laws, statutes, and commandments. And if you guys have any questions, anything at all that you want to put up there, please put this in the comments. And last week, after we got done with our reading, I kind of got up shaking my head at my, I guess, ignorance on the command with the fruits on the trees. You could read through scriptures over and over and over and over. And the one thing you probably should never do is get cocky. You probably shouldn't think that you got any of the answers or everything figured out, because when we go over things, and I didn't actually know this. I didn't know the 5-year thing. I had probably read it a zillion times, but it was 3 years for what the command that I knew. And last week we discussed this, which is why it is very good that we can all sit in our little circle here and all have our little conversations, because there's stuff that, I mean, we're just reading. We're not preachers. We're not pastors. We're not people out there. We don't take 10% of anything. We're just out here in a little middle of a jungle reading with all of you. And we hope that you guys envision a big table out here, because I envision a big table with all of you guys sitting around it. And that's what the big table is about. It's about communicating and talking and making sure that we have our game dialed in, so that we can all have our games dialed in and make sure that we're ready for this second Exodus.
I want to add one more name, Jana. She says, I don't do chats. Well, we're glad you said hi.
Hi, Jana. It's good. We appreciate everyone there. Much love to all of you guys out there. Okay, so let's start with our commandments, gentlemen. And again, if anybody has any questions or something doesn't make sense, this is the place that we pop this in there. Then we'll read through the command. We'll discuss this as a family and find out why or why not we think this should be in here. But these are the commandments that we have found in scriptures that are for all of us today. Okay, here we go. Number 1, be fruitful.
Number 2, multiply.
Replenish the earth.
Subdue it. Have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living creature. The herb bearing and every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families.
Master sin. Every clean moving thing that moves shall be food for you.
It lives. And do not eat the blood.
To walk before me and be perfect. Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments.
Teach every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah. Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread, festival of Matzah. There is one Torah for the stranger and one for the Hebrew.
Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah. You shall not make graven images.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
All right, let's talk about that real quick. Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught. You know, we're living in a almost a pandemic of bringing our Creator's name to naught, and it is a real pandemic. Well, you know, one of the big things that everybody says is OMG, right? Everybody does it, and even though our Creator's name isn't God, it's a surtitle, you're still referencing something to Him. Now, people are using this OMG for absolutely everything. People have absolutely no idea what it's about. They have no idea the origins of it. The actual origins are out of Psalms. It comes from King David, where he says, oh my God. And he talks about this. But now we have taken this and we have corrupted it. And not only have we taken his name and moved it to naught, but we also take his son's name and we bring that to naught as well. And people will bring superlatives out of their name. And when you ask them, would you swear in your mother's name? Would you put her to it? Most people would say no, because it's disrespectful, it's rude. But yet we would take the creator of the universe and we take it to naught. Everybody swears, everybody puts that in there. And we have to understand that our creator is extremely important. Everything about him is very important. He is to be worshiped in all ways. When we are bringing things to naught and saying superlatives, even if it is OMG that you think is a 3-letter superlative, it doesn't mean anything. It absolutely means everything. And we need to align our lives and align our families and the things that we say. And if we've gotten in a habit of actually saying those 3 letters, which you hear people all the time, they're like, OM beep. And it is just like that. It is bringing our creator's name to naught. We need not to be saying his name if we're bringing it to naught. Right? If we have somehow decided we need to swear using a title or a name that people call his son, that's just wrong. And so we have to understand this is a commandment. And even those 3 little letters that you drop inside of cell phone communications and things like this, that's still bringing his name to naught. Okay.
Jeannie says, what if we use the OMG for oh my gosh?
You know, that's the thing is it has been branded over. If you say OMG, 99% of the people are going to say it means oh my, you know, if it was his name, it'd be oh my Yahuwah. And I wouldn't say that at all. I mean, we are falling into the exact ways of the people, and it may mean something to us, but if you say OMG to 99% of the world, that is what it means. And so we should not be bringing it to naught. We should be, oh my goodness. And, you know, instead of OMG, why don't you just type out, oh my goodness or something. something a little different than this because we've really fallen into a bad time of this.
Sister Barb says it was also used in Baal worship in the ancient times too.
Yeah, all this stuff, man, is really, really, really pagan. And Jeannie, we did this too. I mean, we when we came out of, I guess, captivity or came into awakenment, we were doing all that stuff. You know, there's one thing that the Satanist guys do that I used to do all the time was what in sign language it's called "I love you," right? It's the two, you have your thumb up and you have your index finger and you have your pinky up. And all my life, I was trained to that this was "I love you." And so when we woke up, we soon found out that that's what the Satanists used for devil horns. And as you see people playing music and, you know, it's all of that enlightenment. And even though to me, it was always "I love you," if I'm out there flashing devil horns, just like the demons are doing, that's one big thing. And that's one thing I changed like nearly 10 years ago. And it was always, we'd flash "I love you" on the way in, way out. You know, you'd see it. We'd know that people are saying it. We don't do that anymore because the Satanists have overtaken it, which is really sad because they've overtaken a tremendous amount of things, including numerology and all these things. And okay, what else do we got? Anyone? Yeah, 7 times. Like Jeremy says, bringing his name to naught is taking it out over 7,000 times, right? Yahweh, right? They've changed it to God. They've changed the name of our Messiah hundreds and hundreds of times. When you look at the history of it, you look at the 1611 KJV, it's different. Prior to that, it was different. Every man is putting their hands and their names into this stuff. And you will have the religion. I'm going to be real careful about this because, guys, I'm not attacking the J people. You have the religion of, do I say it? Judaism, that you can't say the name of Yah, right? When we first started battling some of these rabbis down here, we said Yahuwah's name, and they're like, "Don't say that." It's like, or something like that. Like they're clearing their throat, and they don't want to say. They're like, "Whatever you do, don't say that name." That is our name of our Creator. That is His name. Is what we need to worship. Everybody should know the name of our Creator, and everybody should not bring it to naught. And that's what our hopes and dreams are. Is that people understand He has a name, He has a way. All right. Anything else on the chat, Mystical?
No, I don't think so. Just Sister Barb just said, "Glory and joy are pagan Zeus worship deities also." So we use honor and gladness.
Honor and joy. What are they? What'd you say?
Joy and glory.
Joy and glory are pagan Zeus worship deities also. All right, that's good to know. Sister Barb comes up with some really, really good stuff. Cough, Jimmy, cough. Okay, let's continue on with this, guys. 22. Keep the Sabbath, Shabbat day. Guys, this is why we are here. This is what we are doing. All right, it just said it reconnected. Hopefully we're reconnecting. I might have said the J word too much. All right, so but where was I going with that, guys? Keeping the Shabbat. The beginning of the covenant with our Creator is in Shabbats. And when people start in the Shabbats, then the rest of it can come into action. But there is it's just a process. All right, let's continue on with this. 23, boys.
Honor your parents.
Yes, honor your parents. That's a good one.
Do not kill. Do not break wedlock.
Do not steal.
Do not make false accusations against your neighbor. Do not covet anything of your neighbor's.
Slow down, Turbo.
Do not make an altar from rock that you will touch.
Do not go up the altar by the steps. If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times.
And who is laws for criminals?
Do not lie with beast. No sacrifice.
Okay, so there we have Commandment 33. Do not lie with a beast. This is a very grim thing to even think about. But if you are those people that the laws are no more, what are you guys doing with the beasts, right? That's the dangerous place that we are in right here. That if you are good removing certain commands, well, what about this? Are you going to try to tell me that it's okay to lie with beasts of the field when we have a commandment that says not to, right? You cannot pick and choose these commandments. You cannot say, well, I like the 10 commandments, but only one of those I don't keep, which is I don't keep the Shabbat. The other ones, you can't pick and choose. All of these are extremely important, and this is why I will stop on a commandment like this, because to most normal people, this is abomination beyond an abomination. But obviously, there was enough of a problem with it that we have been told not to do it. It is part of our commandments. Not only that, we've been told 3 separate times not to lie with a beast. So you can't get rid of the commands. If you do, I don't know what to say, man. We're in some dangerous territory. Okay, 34.
No sacrifice to other Elohim.
Do not oppress the stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest.
I had to stop with Sister Barb. She just said, I left a retirement job. Will you please take Leo over to the water, Caden? Please step up. Okay. She just said, read that off. Let's go. There it is.
I just left a retirement job where their site clients were doing that.
Yeah, that's wild, right? I mean, that's completely wild. As in the days of Noah, right? And this is what we knew that the sons of the Watchers, the sons and daughters of the Watchers, they were all into this, right? After the Watchers and those things came, there was no flesh left that wasn't somehow corrupted. And so, yeah, it's complete, just really, really some vile stuff right there. Okay, hit it, Sam.
35.
5, yeah. Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest. To borrow your neighbor's raiment, return to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast. Do not no false report.
Do not follow a multitude of evil.
Do not judge unrighteously against the poor.
I got to go back to the beast thing because I remember a couple years ago when we found out Canada actually had a law that allowed bestiality, and we could not figure that out. And so that is obviously a problem. When Sister Barb talks about her client stuff and like the people that she was at this call center for or whatever she was doing, these people exist, right? These people exist enough that Canada has a law allowing for this. And so this is why the laws of our Creator are extremely important, and they do trump the laws of the land regardless. So we need to follow the laws of Yah up to death to keep them versus the laws of man. Okay, do not judge unrighteously against the poor.
Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers.
Okay, so Lisa, this is okay. This is not what we're talking about here. We're not talking about our pets on our beds. We're talking about the act of fornication with our animals, is what this is, and what that command is about. This has nothing to do with petting your dog, loving your dog, giving your dog kisses, anything like that. This is talking about a relationship with your animals, is what this is talking about. And so, no, having bear on the bed or any of this stuff, that's nothing like that. It's the fact that you go against the natural way of life is what that is. Okay, stay away from rumors and gossipers.
Take no bribes.
Do not oppress a stranger, love the stranger.
Give your land rest in the 7th year. Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feast of Yahuwah.
Do not cure your goat in his mother's milk. Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah. Make no covenant with other Elohim or outside of the land.
Do not make use of anointing oil on an old person. Do not make use of perfume on an old person.
Do not make use of perfume.
I just said that.
Oh wait. Do not eat the fat. Do what you say you're going to do.
Return what is your neighbor's.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws. Woman's time of separation.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Keep the day of atonement, Yom HaKippurim. Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife.
Do not lie with a woman in her uncleanness.
You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
It's another one of those verses, right? Commandment 68. The laws of our Creator are no more. Oh, is that good? We can now sacrifice our children to Moloch? Because these are all part of the laws of our Creator. And one of them is we're not supposed to run our kids through to Moloch. So continuing on, I hope people understand that you can't pick and choose these commands. We cannot say we like this one or we don't like this one. They're all for us. There's one Torah for us, one Torah for the outsiders. It's all the exact same Torah. Okay, do not be a sodomite.
Be Kodesh.
Holy.
Do not reap the corners of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor. Do not lie or be a liar.
Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due.
Do not harm the disabled. Do not endanger your neighbor.
Do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin. Love your neighbor as yourself.
Do not diverse your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed. Do not mingle linen and wool.
Do not lie with the taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years. Do not practice sorcery.
Do not round your beard or the corners of your head.
Do not cut yourself for the dead.
All right, let's go. Hold on. Let's go to chat real quick. Where are we at?
Jeannie, she has a
188.
question.
88. Okay, what is the question in there?
What if your best friend's granddaughter is named after, excuse me, a pagan god? I see her often when she visits.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, I mean, lots of people are named after pagan gods. All those people in Paul all had people hanging out with him that were, what was his buddy's name?
Paul?
Paul's buddies.
Apollos?
Yeah, Apollos. We had Apollos.
Was it Artemis?
I can't remember. There's like lots and lots and lots of people named after pagan gods. Now, I don't think it's the person's fault that got named that. They certainly didn't pick their name on that.
And just like Jeremy says, the days of the week and the months are all pagan.
Yeah, everything, not even just that. I mean, everything around us is completely pagan. I don't think the kid or whatever would be. I don't think there's anything. I mean, I would probably call him his name. I mean, literally, if we're saying the weeks of the days of weeks, we are saying pagan names. I don't know any other way around this. And so I don't. Let's see.
Jeremy says, I think the context is don't say the name in a worship. So don't like worship those people.
Yeah, if you name your kid like Moloch or something like that, and everybody's like worshiping him because his name is Moloch, that's a bad deal, right? That's what we wouldn't want to name. But a lot of people, I mean, especially English names, they're named after pagan stuff, and their parents did not know, or they did know, and I just don't see how it's the fault of the kid.
But if she has a nickname that she likes, then if you're more comfortable calling her by the
Yeah, maybe
nickname,
find a
then-
nickname or something that you can find her. You know, it's Moloch, call him Mo or something. Mole. Okay, let's continue on. Here we go. 88. Do not get tattoos.
Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult the medium. Respect your elders.
To have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nation. Keep the feast of first fruits, Shavuot, on account, Pentecost.
Keep the feast of trumpets, Yom Teruah.
Keep the feast of Sukkot, Shemini, Atzeret.
I
Okay.
just want to throw in what Sister Barb said. Names mean something, though. Nothing happens without Yahuwah's hand on it. Pray that they are protected and not cursed.
Yeah. Names are everything, you know, and that's the name. Yahushua, right? Yeshua, salvation. Yah is with us. Yah saves. Yah among us. There's a lot of things, and that's the thing. When you look at the name of Jesus, the name meanings doesn't, you know, the name Jesus doesn't mean anything. And I probably get struck to the ground right here for saying that. But as far as names go, we have Yahushua, and I know there's always the people with the UA and the A at the end of it, and there's also the people with Yeshua, and the people say that is not right. But it's far closer than Jesus. And so where names do absolutely mean stuff, and the scriptures even say there's no other name under heaven by which man may be saved. And I don't think that we have to have the exact name right. I don't think Yah's going to judge us like that if we never knew the name. But if we do know the name, it is very important that we use the name. And it's like we argue with other people. I've argued before. People are like, the name doesn't matter, and their name is like Randy. And I'm like, okay, Lewis, do you care? And I mess with people like that, and I'll start calling him Lewis. And they're like, well, that's not my name. Well, it's not our Messiah's name either. And if you don't like it to be called there, if we have the right name, we should probably get that. All right, let's continue on, gents.
If you blaspheme Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another.
Repay injury for injury. Honor the Yobel, the Jubilee year.
Confess to Yahuwah and repay who have trespassed against.
The Torah of being Nazir. The words easy on the four corners of your garments.
The law of whoever touches a corpse.
Follow Yahuwah's law of inheritance.
Law of keeping your oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Guard your soul. And you guys are hearing birds all around us.
He's right outside the window.
There's like
right
a little,
up there on the tub. He's
yeah,
right
there's
there.
a little black bird that sits about 5 inches tall, and he's making a tremendous amount of noise. This is what life
All
is.
sorts of different noises.
Yeah, there's all sorts of jungle noise out here. We're sorry, guys. Okay,
Guard your soul.
guard your soul.
Guard your soul. Learn to fear Yahuwah.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the Torah laws upon your hand and the frontlets between your eyes.
Write the Torah, laws on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies. Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah. Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Do not make an altar of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim. Rejoice, not Yahuwah is blessed to it.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
Do not hearken to the words of false prophets. Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable thing.
You shall give to a stranger clean food that died of itself, but you shall not eat of it.
Give tithe of your increase of seed year by year.
Laws of the end of the 7-year release. Do not borrow from the nations. Do not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from the poor.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year all males shall appear before Yahuwah. You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses. Hearken unto the prophet Yahuwah has chosen.
Prophetess of Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line.
How to deal with false witness among Torah keepers.
The first child is double portions.
If your brother's cattle are lost and you find them, you must return them.
A woman should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man what pertains to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest, the mother and the babies or eggs, take the babies, but not the mother.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that it'll be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money.
The Torah of divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge.
If you lend to your brother, do not enter his house to get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset if that was his pledge.
Do not oppress a hired hired servant that is poor and needy.
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back for the forgotten sheep and field deer, for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife, and in the firstborn after your brother.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah, the Feast of the Coat, Feast of Tabernacles.
All right, so there we go, guys. This is the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, and we are getting ready to go into our reading, our daily reading. You want to do the?
We're going to go over the Ark of the Covenant
Okay,
first, right?
so actually, yeah, we wanted to go over because we saw some stuff Brother Glenn had put on there regarding the Ark of the Covenant and how everything is completely messed up as far as what it should look like. So we went and grabbed some pictures of it, and then we're gonna look over this and kind of just look at the pictures versus what is the versus what actually is described in scriptures. So that's what we're gonna do first. And so here are some of these ones, and these are just like common ones that everybody has out there. Now let's go read real quick what the ark actually is, because I think they all have the poles are way too high. I think the ones with the wood, the poles at the bottom of it, I think are the proper thing. Okay, where are we at, Eli, on this?
It should be on verse 10 is where
Okay.
it starts.
Okay, so we're going to read this real quick and just kind of look over this, then we're going to actually get into our main reading. And there should make an ark of acacia wood 2.5 amma long and an amma and a half wide and an amma and a half high. Okay, so we're talking, Jade, our ammas are 18 inches, right, guys?
Yeah.
17.5.
7.5.
17.5.
Yep. Okay. We always listen to your comments, Brother Glenn. We have a lot of stuff going on here. I don't always get to answer them, but I always do. And so let's continue on this. You're our wise old owl, Brother Glenn. There would be no other reason. We love you, brother. So here we are. 10. Okay, so we have 18 and a half, 17. We have 17 and a half on this thing. And you shall overlay it with clean gold. Inside and outside you shall overlay it, and you shall make on it a molding of gold all around. And you shall cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in its 4 corners, 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on the other side. And you shall make poles of acacia wood and overlay them with gold, and shall put the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark to lift them up by the ark. The poles are in the rings of the ark; they are not taken from it. Okay, that's something very important, right? The poles are in the rings of the ark; they are not taken from it. So, based upon that right there, I think I don't think the poles ever come off.
Yeah, I think they're always in it.
Okay, so based upon this, let's take a look. Also, 18, and you shall make 2 cherubim. This is what Brother Glenn was talking about. The messengers they have on the top of them are the wrong ones. Let's listen up on this. And you shall make 2 cherubim of gold. Make them of beaten work at the 2 ends of the lid of atonement, and make 1 cherub at one end and the other cherub at the other end. Make the cherubim from the lid of atonement at its 2 ends. So at the very ends is where we should see these cherubim. And the cherubim shall be spreading out their wings above, covering the lid of atonement with their wings, with their faces toward each other, the faces of the cherubim toward the lid of atonement. Okay, so the wings should be completely, to get the correct thing, it should be completely covering the lid of atonement. Okay, and you shall put the lid of atonement on top of the ark, and put into the ark the witness which I give you. Okay, now let's just take what we have right here, and let's go look at these pictures of this and see if any of the pictures of what we see match anything of what we just read. So this one right here, this would not match this, right? Because there's no poles. The poles is supposed to be stayed in there. And the question is, are the poles up top like right here, or are they at the bottom? And I think the pictures, what do you got?
I think at the bottom it would be able to support more of the weight.
And you wouldn't have to have very tall guys.
Yeah, structurally it'd be very rough to carry something up so high like that where all the weight's at the bottom.
But the guys that are lifting this thing up have got to be buffed.
Yeah,
because this was hundreds of pounds.
It's only 4 people.
Yeah, there's 4 people on this thing. All right,
So
let's
it's like
continue on.
four- Strongest Levites.
I honestly think the poles are too short.
This cherubim doesn't have any clothes on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so let's take a look at this. Does this one match this thing?
Definitely not. There's no way they could carry that.
How do you know?
The poles are really short.
And the poles-
I think
the-
the image is cropped a bit.
Yeah, those images are corrupt.
No, cropped.
Cropped?
Cropped. That image I think is cropped. I think the poles are
Like-
longer.
No?
Like
That's
shortened it all
corrupted.
up.
I don't think those things. All right, so let's go back over here. Now, this one has them look at the ark. How do they have them? They have them with the small end, right? So this picture, we have no idea. Could it be right here? We don't know from the description
That
if the
also
poles are on the side like this,
That seems weird though.
or if the poles are like right here, something like
Brother
this.
Glenn says the poles are always stay in the rings.
Yeah.
So the ark will never be touched.
Right. Okay, so I don't know. We're just going over this, guys. We don't know. This is a possibility, possibly like right here. Would be bowed over completely. Ron White said he found it. I don't know who Ron White is. Okay. Yeah. So the question, I guess, is the rings. Are they like this, guys, on the side, or are they like this one where they go toward the whole thing? It's interesting because I think it would be something like, I think it's like this. Would be my guess. It's only a guess, but we don't have much more of a description of this. So other than that, yeah, it would be very top heavy. The whole thing would be heavy. But
So wouldn't that be harder to carry it from the bottom because it would like?
we're only talking like how many inches on this? We're talking like 18 inches, right? It's not humongous. But it is. I mean, we know from the weight. Last time I think it was like 600 pounds, wasn't it? Did we like?
Yeah, somebody tells us
I think it was like six. Somebody said it, or we figured it out. It was like 600 pounds, but it's very heavy. So if you got 4 guys lifting that, you're going to have to do like 140 pounds a pop.
And if they're all equal size guys, there would be like no like
Yeah.
toppling right there.
Okay, all right. So that's it, guys. We just want to throw that out there to you all, and I guess show Brother Glenn that we always do listen. I mean, sometimes
He
we
says
don't
he was
reply
just
back.
kidding.
I don't think Brother Glenn was just kidding, but anyway, we love you, Brother Glenn. All right, so here we are on today's reading. We are on Exodus 27. Okay, and Exodus 27. Guys, this is Yah Scriptures right here. This is it's a free version of Scriptures. Mr. Cole, hopefully we'll stick it in her thing. And you're hearing, yeah, brother, Jeremy's right. Yeah, we listen to you, Brother Glenn. We definitely do. And we're sorry you have dogs. We're trying everything we can to stop them. Okay, this is Yah Scriptures, guys. It's completely free. And it is you can download the PDFs, and this is
Tell Sister Barb she can ask her question now. She says at the end, got a question.
Sister Barb. Why don't you roll this right now? The suspense might kill me if I make it to the end. And whoever's listening with you guys, just so you guys know, we love Sister Barb, and we love the conversation pieces. So I don't want anyone to ever like get offended, or anybody's thinking they can't speak or we can't say it. This is an open forum. This is a totally open forum. And my dogs are doing this. So anyway, I will wait for Sister Barb's question as we roll through it, or maybe she'll do it at the end. It doesn't matter. So anyone ready? Everyone ready here? Yeah. Jaden, I need you to give me a breakdown of what has happened to this point, where we are at. Jaden's across the room here. You're gonna have to put the dog down, Jaden. Okay, come back to the table, buddy.
Logical chapters. The people.
Where are we at?
So we are on Mount Sinai. They are getting commands from Yahuwah. They got scared. They said they want to hear from Moses. They wanted Moses to talk to Yahuwah personally because they thought they were going to die with all the thunder and lightning that was going around. So they sent Moses up. Moses went up there, and Moses has been getting laws, and then now he's getting instructions on how to build Yahuwah's temple, how to build his house. Tent of Appointment, the Ark of the Covenant. Now we're building the tabernacle, and he's been getting exactly how long everything should be, how wide everything should be, colors, how everything should be built, and who should make it.
Yeah, and this is, I guess, a spoiler. This is probably, I shouldn't say it's a dry chapter, because if you were building this, it is a very necessity to have this particular part. But as far as just reading it, let's just get through this and see what we can make of this. 27. And you shall make an altar of acacia wood, 5 amma long and 5 amma wide. The altar is square and its height 3 amma. Just stop there from sending your tax dollars for killing babies and things and more. Okay, what?
She says, we here were wondering how you beloveds were able to stop them from sending your tax dollars for killing babies and vile things.
We just don't pay our taxes anymore.
We don't file taxes.
We don't file taxes. We haven't filed taxes.
We don't make money in the States, so.
Yeah, we don't. We're broke Joes, and so we don't actually have. We're still stuck in Babylon as far as banking goes, but as far as money making, nothing we have comes out of Babylon. Everything we have, it comes out of here, and there's no IRS and there's none of this stuff. They do use U.S. cash, but there's no such things, and so we've never filed taxes. We haven't filed taxes for like a long time. The IRS probably wants Miss Nicole in some sort of chambers at this point, but they won't get her. Okay, so here we go. Everybody ready on the side, right?
Yep.
Hopefully that answers that, and let's continue on. The altar is square and its height 3 amma, and you are to make its horns on its 4 corners. Its horns are the same, and you shall overlay it with bronze. And you shall make its pots to receive its ashes and its shovels and its basins and its forks, its fire holders, Make all its utensils of bronze. Now, why do you think he makes everything of bronze? Why doesn't he make it of gold? Why is
I don't know. I think gold's
heavy? I'll tell you gold right now because those things would be super, super heavy. But we have bronze or we have that.
I also think like it's like more common. Like more people have bronze and gold.
Yeah, probably.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Mr. Barb says, do you notify anyone when you leave the country or relinquish citizenship?
And that's the crazy thing. If you try to leave North America, like you cannot leave North America without a return plane ticket. So if you ever decide you're leaving the country, you got to get a fake return ticket because the Babylonians don't want to like let you go. And so every time we left, we had to get another plane ticket that we would cancel as soon as I got in the air because they would not let me leave the North America till it is. What was the other question on that?
Or did we relinquish citizenship?
We did not relinquish citizenship. We're still American citizens. But we're also Panamanians as well. We all have residency as well, and so every single one of us, I think, are good. But anything else on that?
No, that's it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it. Yeah, North America is a funky place. South America is really, really funky too. It's not an easy thing. Like it's if you just want to have a good, quick, easy life or something outside of it, it's hard, especially if you don't know Spanish. We're in this 9 years. We're complete vets on this, and so I guess if anybody's leaving for a Spanish country, we could absolutely help you guys and get you through to wherever you're going because we now speak Spanish fluently. At least the kids do. Okay, but Babylon will always want you. It'll always want you there for as long as they possibly can. All right, here we go. Back to it. 6.
I think it's
Okay, 4. There's a 4. And you shall make a grating for it, a bronze network, and shall make on the network 4 bronze rings at its corners, and put it under the rim of the altar beneath. So the network is halfway up the altar. And you shall make poles for the altar, poles of acacia wood, and shall overlay them with bronze. And the poles shall be put into the rings, and the poles shall be on the 2 sides of the altar for lifting it. We should have got pictures of this, is what we should have got pictures for.
I have like the thumbnail picture of that too.
All right, make it hollow with boards, as it was shown to you on the mountain. So they are to make it. And you shall make the courtyard of the Mishkan for the south side screens for the courtyard made of fine woven linen, 100 alma long for one side. And its 20 columns and their 20 sockets of bronze, the hooks of the column and their bands of silver. And for the north side in length, screens 100 long with 20 columns and their 20 sockets of bronze, and the hooks of the columns and their bands of silver. What thumbnail do you have for this? Let's take a quick look at what this.
I have like the altar and some of the utensils.
All right, so here we're gonna try to get a picture of this because let's see, where do we got this? All right, so this is what is this?
That's like the best I've got.
That's the best we got. All right, so this is what we're trying to do, and this is obviously. I said we've talked about this before because we went over all this stuff, and it looks like a flesh hook right there. We didn't know when we first went over this stuff. We had no idea what a flesh hook was. It's a large fork. A really large fork. All right, so let's continue on back with our reading. That's kind of what we're trying to describe right here, and I don't know if this is legit for what we're reading here. Okay, where are we at, boys?
We are on, I believe, 12.
Okay, 12. And the width of the courtyard on the west side, screens of 50 amma with their 10 columns and their 10 sockets. And the width of the courtyard on the east side, 50 amma. And the screens on one side of the gate, 15 amma with their 3 columns and their 3 sockets. And on the other side, screens of 15 with their 3 columns and their 3 sockets. And for the gate of the courtyard, a covering, 20 amma long, of blue and purple and scarlet and fine woven linen, made by a weaver, 4 columns and 4 sockets. And there's Yah's favorite colors. Like if you had to take a guess at what Yah's favorite colors are, it's going to be something of this. And as a colorblind person, I could tell you that these kind of all look the same to me. But obviously they're different shades of blues, right? Is that what we're doing? To a darkness? Scarlet, almost to a red, right?
Red. They blue, purple, and red.
Blue, purple, and red.
I'll throw gold in there too. The overlay is almost everything in gold. So.
Except this thing. This is all in brass.
Except for this, but everything else pretty much goes in gold.
Okay. Nice. Okay. 17.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you're in 17.
All the columns around the courtyard have bands of silver. Their hooks, silver, and their sockets, bronze. The length of the courtyard is 100 amma, and the width 50 by 50. and the height 5 𐤄𐄇, woven of fine linen thread, and its sockets of bronze. All the utensils of the Mishkan for its service, all its pegs and all the pegs of the courtyard are bronze. And you are to command the children of Israel to bring you clear oil of pressed olives for the light, to cause the lamp to burn continually. In the tent of appointment, outside the veil, which is before the witness, Aaron and his sons are to tend it from evening until morning before Yahuwah, a law forever to their generations from the children of Yisrael.
So we see why we always have, why people always bring like it's a little hint of oil or whatever, just for the lamps, right? So it's not, I mean, they probably use it for cooking too, but
Well,
it's for lamps.
that's the crazy thing about religion, right? You can call it whatever you want. You can say they're completely misled. But at the end of the day, it feels like a scam, because every single person is allotted 10% of their money to go take into this guy that's standing preaching on the wrong day in a temple made of man, and they will tax you. Even worse, the Mormons will actually put you in a log, and as long as you accept into the Mormon religion, you are on that log, and they expect 10% of you. So they will go out and go around and bill you for that 10%. Now, we don't have any kind of rules or regulations of Torah that says we are to bring money to our priests. In fact, it is quite different. Right here, that we know that the tithe is oxen, right? It's grain, it's fresh oil, it's things of this nature, it's things that are part of this. But if you're sitting there giving 10% of your money, which nearly every Christian does, or people in religion, because they believe, based upon programming, that they need to give the 10% because that's going to God. And it's not. It's going to the guy in the, your preacher guy. And they're probably all corrupt, very corrupt. Okay, now we are going to read out of the Targums. Yeah, and it's for the Levites as well. I forgot to even say that. If you're sitting there trying to take 10% off people and you are absolutely not a Levite, which I don't even know how you would prove if you were a Levite, it would just be very dangerous to even try this, I think. This isn't the way that tithes were ever supposed to go. The entire point of the tithe system was to take care of one tribe. One tribe, the Levites, had no real income. They had no nothing. They didn't have a way to support themselves. They didn't get any land, real land, nothing like everybody else. But what they did get is they had the people that were supposed to bring them food. They're supposed to bring them flour. They're supposed to bring them the stuff that they were. That's why Yah always fed his Levites.
Give them places to stay.
Give them places to stay, right? This was what it was all about. And if you look at a modern day preacher, this isn't them. This is not them. They are not serving Yah. They're not keeping the commandments. They should not be taking 10% from anybody at all. Yeah.
Pay them for their work for Yahuwah.
Yeah, exactly. And if Yah wanted people to be wealthy, he would make them wealthy, right? This is all in the hand of Yah. By maybe just a crink of his forehead, he makes things happen, right? It's just the way it is. If you were meant to be of wealth, Yah, and it was Yah's will, you would be of wealth. If you're meant to live with hand to mouth every single month, then that's the way Yah wants you to live. It's just the way it is. Okay, let's continue on. Now, this is the Targums, and this is our little leavenated reading that we try to break the leaven out of and make sure there is no leaven in this. And so we don't know exactly where this came from or some of the stuff that's in here, but we are going to blast through this and finish this up.
Before you start, one quick thing. Brian says let's check on the internet Ron White's drawings of the ark, so we'll have to look and then
Okay.
pick it up next week.
Okay, yeah, Ron White. Yeah, who knows? We'll do
I guess it's white.
we'll gather all that next week and throw this up there, and then try to get something on that for you guys. Okay, 27:1. And you shall make the altar of woods of sitta, 5 cubits the length, and 5 cubits the breadth. Square shall be the altar, and its height 3 cubits. So, what does 27:1 say on yours?
Alma?
But it's made of what?
Acacia.
Acacia wood. So I'm taking that acacia wood and sitta wood must be the exact same thing, whatever that is. 27:2. And you shall make its horns upon its 4 corners. The horns shall be of it. They shall rise upward, and you shall cover it with brass. And you shall make its pots to carry away its ashes, and its shovel, and its basins, and its thuribles. All its vessels you shall make of brass. Let's see, and the Jerusalem says, and you shall make its pots to carry its ashes, and its scoops, and basins, and its flesh hooks, and its thuribles, and all vessels you shall make of brass. What does your guys say for thuribles?
Fire holders.
Fire holders is a thurible. Okay. 27:4. And you shall make for it a grate of network of brass, and upon the network 4 brass rings upon its 4 corners. And you shall place it under the surroundings of the altar. Beneath that, the network may be to the middle of the altar, that if any fragment of or fiery coal fall from the altar, it may fall upon the grate and not touch the ground, and that the priest may take it from the grate and replace it upon the altar. Okay, 27:5 doesn't say anything like that, does it? That seems like a really long verse. What's 27:5 say?
It says, and you shall put it under the rim of a rim of the altar beneath, so the network is halfway up the altar.
Okay, so it doesn't say anything in the last piece that if any fragment or fiery coal fall from the altar, it may fall upon the grate. Does that make sense? This little part, this little thing.
I mean, they put a little mesh down there.
I don't think Yah.
catcher?
Yeah, I don't think Yah would want his like things flying out of there. I think that might be a interesting thing. Okay, believe they got it from Lebanon. I'm just reading the comments, guys.
The
Okay.
acacia wood.
Yeah, 27:6. And you shall make staves of sittim woods, and overlay them with brass. And you shall place the staves within the rings, and the staves shall be on the 2 sides of the altar in carrying the altar.
Well, interesting. The acacia wood is a pest resistance.
It's pest resistant. We need some of that. Where can we get some? Will it stop the jungles?
We need this immediately.
Yes, immediately. Clothe me in acacia wood. Okay, 27:8. Hollow with boards filled with dust shall you make it, according to that showed you in the mountains, so shall they make it. Hold on. It doesn't say anything like that. What's yours 27:8 say?
It says, make a hollow with boards, and it was shown to you on the mountain, so they are to make it.
Okay, it doesn't say filled with dust?
Nope.
What do you mean filled with dust? What does this mean?
Doesn't say either in 7 or 9.
So hollow boards filled with dust is this version of it. Why would they have hollow boards filled with dust?
I don't know. It feels like the.
What is that dirt? You think
No.
you think that what they're saying?
It feels like the one where it's like the
Sawdust?
sawdust they make the boards.
Huh.
Like what is that?
It's interesting. Well,
Plywood.
basically, this is what you call leaven because we don't know the boards are filled with dust. So all we can do is speculate on if this is correct or not. So we don't know. 27:9. And you shall make the court. We should make the court of tabernacle. For the southern side shall be hangings of fine linen twine, 100 cubits the length for one side, and its pillars 20, and their foundations 20 of brass. The look of the pillars and their rods of silver. And so for the northern side, for length, the hangings 100 cubits long, and their pillars 20, and their foundations 20 of brass, the hooks of the pillars and their rods of silver. And for the breadth of the court on the western side, the hangings shall be 50 cubits, their columns 10, and their foundations 10. And for the breadth of the eastern side, eastward 50 cubits, and 15 cubits the hangings of the side, their pillars 3, and the foundations, and their foundations 3. They have a typo in there. 27:15. And on the second side, 15 curtains, their pillars there, their pillars 3, and their bases 3. Okay, sorry, I was just making sure my wording is good. 27:16. And for the door of the court shall be a veil of 10 cubits of hyacinth and purple and crimson, and fine linen twined of embroidered work, their pillars 4, and their foundations 4. All the pillars of the court round about shall be united with silver rods, their hooks of silver, and their foundations of brass. The length of the court 100 cubits, and the breadth 50 on the west and 50 on the east, and the height 5 cubits of fine linen twined, and their foundations of brass. All the vessels of the tabernacle in its service, and all the pins of the court around of brass. Anyone? Brass? Brass when we're dealing with fire, when we're dealing with stuff, you can burn it. You can you can cling this stuff really, really well. Like we know of in Torah that if something dead touches an earthen vessel, right, something unclean, you have to break the earthen vessel. As where this stuff with brass, you're able to cling it properly, probably with fire as well.
Heat it up.
Yeah, fire and get all that stuff off. Okay, so 27:20. And you shall instruct the sons of Yashrael to bring the pure olive oil, beaten, for illumination, that the lamps may burn continually. And like we've discussed, right, this was the tithe, right? You'll instruct the sons of Yashrael to bring the pure olive oil, beaten. So somebody's out there making sure that the Levites had lights, right? I mean, this is all part of like, how do we take care of the Levites? And this is it. Okay, 27:21. In the tabernacle of the covenant, without the veil that is before the testimony, Aaron and his son shall set in order from evening until morning before Yahuwah, an everlasting statute to your generations of the house of Yashrael. Okay, there we go. That, I think, has taken us out of this reading, and we are done. I want to go back to Sister Barb when she was talking about tax slaves.
Okay, hold on, before you do that.
All right,
Irma says, is it brass or bronze?
What did it say?
It said bronze and ours and brass in this one.
Oh, it said brass or I don't know.
Yeah, Sephir also says brass.
It says brass.
Sephir, yeah. I don't know how much different that is.
I don't know the difference between bronze or brass. So I would know. Maybe Brother Glenn knows what the difference is between bronze or brass.
I think they both have like a brownish, goldish color when they're melted down.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe Brother Glenn can pipe in here if he's still around. Brass is copper and zinc. See, Irma knows more than I do. Brass is copper and zinc. And bronze is copper and tin. Wow, Irma, you're really smart. Bronze is worth more. Okay, yeah, so I do not know. Irma brought something cool to the table. I guess we should probably figure out what it says in the Septuagint. That's what I would go with. Is I don't have a Septuagint right here available, but what it says in the Septuagint is probably what I would go with. Anyone have Septuagint here? Nothing.
No, I don't.
Mom, you have it?
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm gonna open it up.
It just comes from high but take baking soda. Okay, so let's go back, and let's finish off this thing because I saw the thing that Sister Barb said about taxation and being a tax slave in North America, and that is one of the main reasons that we did leave North America is because of that. I've always said, and I believe that taxation is complete theft because there is no rules on the board. There's nothing in anywhere that says you have to pay taxes in. It just doesn't. It's not in our Constitution. There's some amendments, various things, but the people that fight the IRS, the people that really know their stuff, never end up paying taxes. So I know several people in the U.S. that have never paid taxes for like 15 years, and they have normal jobs, they have normal all this stuff. And so it would be like finding one of these guys, finding out exactly how not to get extorted for your tax money. But there's just no laws of the land that say you have to pay this. It's voluntary. We voluntarily pay our money, and you can fight it. And those who are not, you don't know the laws of the land enough, the IRS will take you to school. But I have definitely seen that people do not have to pay taxes if they have it figured out and they follow the rules of the land.
And
So-
also, Jeremy said something about the Darien Gap, and I just want to say the news makes it look 10 times worse than it really is.
All right, so if you didn't hear that, Mr. Cole says something about what is it?
Darien Gap.
The Darien Gap. And so that's what we heard all when we left the U.S. In fact, I think part of the predictive programming is that they tell everybody in the U.S. how dangerous it is everywhere else. They tell you about these really scary cartels, and I will be the first to tell you, I think the cartels are the good people. When you look at the various things in Mexico, Mexico did really well through the whole 2020 thing, and everybody did very, very good. So it's not dangerous like everybody says, although I think we had the hand of Yah completely guiding us on all of this. So maybe for people out of covenant, it might be a little more dangerous. For us, Yah completely got us through all of this, and we never really saw too much crazy stuff on our trek. And had we had good maps and a little understanding of the land, I think we would have gone much easier than we did. So with that, guys, we are going to end this. Jade, will you please bless our brothers and sisters?
Yahuwah bless you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. They shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Yeah, and I love, again, we made it through without YouTube kicking our stream off. We made it through without the chat going away, because usually they lose a chat and I don't get to see anything. So I'm happy about this. With that, guys, I think we're going to say goodbye. We love you guys very, very much. Our dogs are already spooling up, so we will get ready to rock and roll, and we are out. We love you.
All right.
guys. Thank you very much. Guys, next week there's a time change, and so we don't know where you're going to be going. We're going to do the same time we're on, so it may blast up to like 10 o'clock your time, or I don't even know what time you guys are at, but just be aware of that. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine on you. May his love forever shine on you. May the grace of the Torah and finding of Messiah Yahushua be a part of your life. Thank you guys for everything. We love you. Have a wonderful day. Shalom.
Shalom.